Assalamu alaikum, my name is Dhedhi, and in today's important video, my intention is to show international pilgrims throughout the world how they can perform Umrah in 2021 during the pandemic and onwards into 2022 and beyond. So before I get started, please make sure to first like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you stay up to date with the most important updates. And again, don't forget to share this video because it has very important details on how to perform Umrah, the exact step-by-step process to get you up and running and inshallah ready to perform Umrah ASAP. So without further delay, let's get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is go to this website called visitsaudi.com. I will have a link in the description, so you can just click that link and it will take you directly to this site. And as soon as you open up the site, click this button up here on the top right, apply for e-visa. And this is where it gets important. So first off, you want to pay attention to all the notes. You can see that Saudi has reopened to vaccinated international visitors on 1st of August 2021. You're going to want to first off check which countries are applicable to this international quote-unquote constraint. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to first check if your country is listed in this list of international countries. So as you can see here, it says international visitors from 49 eligible countries. So eligible countries are actually right on this page. You can scroll down. So North America, if you're American or Canadian, you're fine. Europe, most of Europe is included. UK, bunch of countries, Italy, Ireland, Iceland, Hungary, Holland, Poland, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, a bunch. Asia, unfortunately there's not too many countries in Asia. So you can see here India, Pakistan is not here, Bangladesh is not here, Malaysia is here, Singapore, China, Japan, Kazakhstan, Brunei, and South Korea. And then Australia and New Zealand. So if you meet this requirement of eligible countries, what you're going to want to do is just go ahead and scroll back up and hit apply now. It's a 3-step process, it's very quick, and you get your visa instantly in your email. So click apply now. You're going to want to put your passport type. I'm assuming most of you that are watching this are just on a regular passport. Select your nationality, United States, and then enter the verification code. This is where you're going to fill out your information. And your phone number, email, confirm your email, secret question if you have. If you don't have an answer, just make it up, but make sure you remember it. And then of course your password. And again with the verification. As soon as you do that, you register. Okay, so as soon as you register, you'll receive what is an account activation link to your email. So go ahead and open up your email and you'll be able to sign in. So I already have an account, I already actually have a visa, so I'm going to skip that part and show you what it looks like. Okay, so as soon as you first try to log into your account, it's going to ask you to send a verification code. So go ahead and send that code. Okay, so as soon as you enter your verification, now you're on this page right here. So you can see I just made a new account, so no record found here. I have it registered to my other email. So you're going to want to hit apply for individual. I wouldn't recommend doing apply for group just because I've tried this in the past and it didn't work out too well. And I ended up having to do apply for individual. So if you have multiple people, just apply individually for them. It's better. Go ahead, hit apply for individual. Are you applying for on behalf of someone else? So if you're doing only for yourself, then yeah, you're gonna hit no. But if you're doing it for somebody else, family member, for example, then hit yes. And this is where the details get a little bit nitty-gritty. So you can see here, upload an image of 200 by 200 pixels. So this is basically the same size as a passport photo. You want to make sure and that it has a clear white background. And you don't want to be wearing things such as sunglasses or hats. So just follow the same principle that you would do for a passport photo. Enter the exact information that's mentioned on your passport. So if you have a middle name, enter that, the exact spelling, and then go ahead and enter all your personal details here. As you can see, there's a timer here, but as long as you're actively working in here, you should be fine. It should not be an issue. So I'm not going to enter all this information just because it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be entering your passport number, things like that in the second step, And one of the benefits of having this tourist visa is that you also get medical insurance with your visa. So that step is on page 3. It'll tell you about that. It'll give you the information because that is mandatory for all tourist visa holders to have insurance. So the fees that are associated with this tourist visa cover the medical insurance, which is a very nice thing. Then there's the terms and conditions, and then after that you can review your application, and then finally make the payment. The payment is, if I'm not mistaken, $125 US. You're going to definitely want to use a credit card and also a card that can be used internationally. Try to avoid cards you don't use too often. And to avoid any issues, it's best to reach out to the credit card company and let them know that you're going to be doing an international charge, because this will show up as an international charge. So it might show up as a fraudulent charge because it's international. So to avoid that headache having to go back and forth and redo your entire application, it's best to just reach out to your credit card company and let them know that you're going to be making a payment internationally. Once that's done, you'll get a payment confirmation page. So shortly after you make your payment, you're going to want to check your email, and in your email you'll receive your visa. It'll show up as a PDF and you can print this out, but this is basically how the visa looks. Now once you have this, step 1 of the phase is complete, and now you officially have a tourist visa and you can enter Saudi Arabia for 1 year from the date of the visa for up to 90 days total accumulated. This is a very useful thing to have, and I personally believe it's a lot better and more efficient than having the Umrah visa. So now that you're an official Saudi e-visa holder, now the fun comes in to choose whether to go with a travel agency or to book it yourself. If you go through a travel agency, obviously the price will be a lot higher, but everything will have been taken care of for you. So lodging, transportation, and things of that nature will be taken care of. But there is a premium for that. Travel agencies, of course, have to make money. You know, they're a business too, so they'll have their fees and things like that. The prices are definitely day and night difference. Or you can opt in to choose to do this yourself. And I personally prefer this method, just because number 1, you can custom tailor your experience in Makkah and Medina. Number 2, you can choose the duration of your stay without any predefined constraints, 7 days, 8 days, whatever. You can choose how long you want to stay and what would work for you, and for how long you want to stay in each city. And number 3, it's also a lot cheaper too. If you prefer to do this yourself, I would recommend to get the airline ticket first. So on every single airline site, such as like Emirates.com or Saudia.com, for example, there is travel guidelines that tell you steps that you must take and procedures that you need to have done and completed prior to your departure. So just make sure to read those carefully, and also to keep observing them, because they do change from time to time. So things that might have applied 2 weeks ago might not apply next week, for example. And they also have a list of like red listed countries that sometimes they get removed from that list, things of that nature. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to that because it's super important. It's also worth noting that there's certain countries where even if you're in transit, meaning just you stay there for like 2-3 hours on a layover, it's possible that you might not have entry permitted to Saudi when you land. So you just want to be very careful, and I would recommend to book a flight through Saudia.com, because that's probably the most safest way to ensure that you have no hiccups during your journey. Once you've gotten your tickets, now the fun begins, and this is where you're going to want to book your hotel accommodations. So I would recommend to book your hotels through Booking.com. And I want to also, as a side note, mention that I'm not sponsored by Booking.com or by Saudi Airlines or Emirates or anyone. This is just my personal experience. So yeah, I would recommend to book through Booking.com. And the reason behind this is that Booking.com has a lot of hotels that don't require prepayment, and I feel like that's a very important and crucial thing to look for as an international traveler, because travel plans often change. There could be something such as you're on a layover and the flight gets missed. You never know. So it's always better to avoid having to pay in advance for hotels, because you'll run into issues where like you might not get refunded, or you might get refunded, but it's such a hassle back and forth, things of that nature. So, and that's the reason why I would recommend Booking.com. That being said, while you're on that site, you're going to want to make sure that for Makkah, you're going to want to search the location as Al Masjid Al Haram, and for Medina, Al Masjid Al Nabawi. because if you put in the city name, if you put Makkah or Medina, the issue is that it will count the entire city as a search point. So you can run into the issue where you might be 2 miles away from Haram, you know, and while you're on Umrah, it's very, very, very difficult if your hotel is that far away. It's super hard. And that's why I would recommend to, you know, make sure that you put in Masjid al-Haram for Makkah or Masjid al-Nabawi for Medina. That way you can sort by distance and see what's the closest. So in Makkah, the best hotels, my recommendations are of course Fairmont, which is Makkah Clock Tower, iconic hotel, very close, one of the closest hotels there. Movenpick is another one. Zamzam Pullman is a nice one too. They're all actually in that same building. Hilton Towers is the building right to the right of the clock tower. That's also a good one. Al Safwa Royal Orchid, I believe it's called, is also a good one. That's very close by. Dar al Tawheed is a very nice one as well, along with a few others. But you're going to want to make sure that you pull up the map and see how close they are. Or you can Booking.com also tells you like how much distance it is, so it'll tell you like 900 feet, 1,000 feet. So I would definitely recommend, at least for the first couple of days during your stay in Makkah, to stay in a hotel that is very close, because when you're doing Umrah, you know, you're dropping off your luggage to the room and having to go. You're gonna get very exhausted very quick, because you're also gonna be wearing a mask, and on top of that, you know, the heat can be very overbearing. After all, it is a desert, so you know, temperatures are often 110 degrees Fahrenheit and over. So very crucial that you get a hotel that's very close. So as soon as you land at a Saudi airport, and you'll have basically two options here. You can choose to go to Jeddah, or you can choose to go to Medina airport. So as soon as you land in a Saudi airport, be it Jeddah airport or Medina airport, you'll have to download an app called Tawakkalna, and also another app called Aitmarna. I'll have the links for both of them in the description below. So you'll have to register with Tawakkalna first, and you will most likely need to get a Saudi SIM. It's usually a good idea, if you don't want to lose your original number, to have like maybe a secondary phone that you can just put the SIM in and use that. And you'll want to register yourself for Tawakkalna with that new number that you have. Once you do that, you'll register for Aitmarna, and the reason behind registering for that is to obtain time slots to perform Umrah or perform Ziyarah in Medina. So very crucial to have that. I would highly recommend to go through Medina airport, just because you can rest in Medina for a few days in the rare chance that a time slot is not available for Umrah when you land in Jeddah. It's very tight timing, so I wouldn't take that risk. I'd rather go through Medina. If you land in Medina, you can rest for a few days, then book your time slot for Umrah via Aitmarna, and also for Ziyarah while you're there in Medina. And then you know, get into the state of Ihram once you reach the Miqat point from Medina to Makkah. So if you're going through Jeddah, you have to be in a state of Ihram before you land in Jeddah, because you'll be passing over a Miqat. So like whatever connecting flight is taking you from that point to Jeddah, you'll have to, you know, get into Ihram from that airport, and during the flight, you know, recite your intentions, things of that nature. So if you're going through Jeddah, you can as soon as you get out of the airport, you know, there's a lot of taxi drivers there that, you know, will take you to Masjid al-Haram, or you can choose to go through Uber. But I would just mention, if you're going to be going with the taxi drivers, just ask 3-4 of them the price, because some tend to overcharge. So just to avoid that, just ask around with a couple of them, and they'll take you directly to your hotel. You tell them the hotel name, they'll take you there. And as soon as you get to your hotel, you know, you'll have to, you know, put in your luggage into your room and then go straight for Umrah. But yeah, that's basically the process behind it. Very crucial that you have these two apps downloaded. You cannot download them if you're not in Saudi Arabia right now. So it's just something to keep in mind. One final thing I want to mention is that a few days prior to your flight, you must register yourself as a vaccinated visitor on Mukim. I'll have the link for Mukim as well in the description below, but make sure that you also have that taken care of before your departure. I really hope that this video was helpful to you, and inshallah if it was, please make sure to drop a like and a comment, and also don't forget to share this with your friends and family. This video contains very useful information. Please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon to stay up to date with the latest videos regarding Umrah in 2021 during the pandemic and beyond. I will be dropping a lot of new videos soon, inshallah, during my travels to Saudi. to give you a real-time overview of how the Umrah process is for international pilgrims. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Jazakallah khair.